Go for it. We're live.
On the internet. I say that like I'm surprised every time. I'm not.
And we're frozen, which is
Great.
yeah, perfect. I might have to lop some of that live off. I can help it. All right. Well,
Hooray.
BC, I guess we're going. Oh no, I messed it up.
You
Forgot
can't
we're
say
on YouTube.
on
It
the
will
internet.
it will demonetize. It may age gate our video if we say it too many times, and then we wouldn't
Ah,
make. You know what? I think after all this time, we're still not eligible for monetization.
well, fuck.
Now we're really not.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to put us out of that category thoroughly.
Ooh, baby, it's already getting warm in here with this AC off. Let's do this
Okay.
thing.
All right, let's fire away. Do you want me to jump into the intro?
Yeah.
All right, here I
Wait,
go.
wait, here.
Hello and welcome to the Cargo Bay, a Star Wars conversation podcast being transmitted to you from a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I am Brady C, here with my co-host
Adam B. Howdy, BC. What's going on
Howdy
out there?
Doody. What's going on? Just hanging out, recording a podcast Friday morning. Things are good. Things are good. How about
Nice.
you? You enduring the heat wave?
Yeah, it's nice and warm. It's going to get really warm in this room while we record. I'm not sure if I have a dentist appointment at 11. Which I'm not looking forward to because this will be the first dentist appointment since before the pandemic over here. So
Solid. Yeah, I remember. It had been a while since my last one. It's still been a while since my most recent one. But the most recent dentist appointment that I had was after I got some full benefits for a
nice.
teaching job that I had, and I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to have these, so I am going to use them up.
Yeah.
And I literally couldn't remember the last time I went to the dentist for just like routine work. I had gone to someone to get a tooth done because I had to have a root canal on that one. That was fun.
Owie.
Yeah, but I was there. They gave me a form. They're like, "What's your anxiety level for going to the dentist?" I was like, "It's a 10. I hate going to the dentist." And they brought me into the room or whatever, and they had like the dentist come and be like, "Are you okay? Like, you put a 10, and people don't do that." I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool. I don't want to be here." They're like, "Okay, we're just checking because that was concerning." I was like, I thought I
You're
was just being honest.
foaming at the mouth when they go.
Like, God damn it! Like, we're gonna have to strap him down and drug him to clean his teeth.
Yeah, I would
But
love
yeah,
to be strapped down and drugged for them to
yeah,
clean my teeth.
that's the ideal dental experience for me, is one where I'm completely passed out. But I don't think they always offer that service to just people who are normal. So
I saw one dentist out here that was offering, or was like, we anesthetize, for dental work. But the logo had a little syringe, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's just means the gum numbing. They're trying to pass that off as anesthetizing, which works well. I don't mind. Here's the deal, BC. I don't mind having my teeth drilled so much. Like, that's not so bad to me. But when they deep clean with that, like, whatever it is that they're shooting at it shoots
hate it.
pain like all the way down to my toes, and I just sweat like crazy, and it's torture.
Yeah, no, I legitimately hate that. I remember the first shot I ever remember getting was at the dentist in my mouth, which is
Yeah.
sort of like made me immune to shots. And I'm like, oh, okay. The first one I remember was someone sticking a needle in my mouth and going, "You just got a shot." And I was like, oh, I guess it's not that bad. It's probably best they didn't say, "We're gonna stick a needle in your mouth right now." And I was like, I would have freaked out.
Yeah.
But after that, it really works. I was like, oh, as long as you're sticking something in my mouth, that's fine. Arm, whatever. Like, I'm cool with shots. Like, I like that. Like, numb stuff up, great. Don't let me feel anything, fantastic.
Yeah.
But it is the like, hey, we're gonna go in and I've got this tiny little thing that's gonna go. And I'm like, just the thought of it freaks me out.
Yeah.
Just why I'm at a 10 when I go in for a routine dental cleaning, and they're like, sir, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not, but it's gonna be fine. We'll get through it together."
I have it, my mother told me that her new dentist doesn't use that, like, I don't know if it's a water pick or a mini drill. I can't even remember what it is, but she says they don't use that. Her dentist uses just like a metal scraper to do the cleaning, which, you know, you can buy yourself and do some yourself or whatever. And I was like, I think I would rather that, honestly. She was like, yeah, it's not a torture session.
Yeah. Yeah, and which is generally what I think of when I think of a dental cleaning. That
Yep.
being said, I do need to schedule an appointment soon, so
It's gonna be a big relief to have it done, assuming that they don't have to rip a bunch of my teeth out. But yeah, I got
uh,
that looming over my head, BC. I'm terrified. So
all right,
thank goodness we got a distraction here.
yeah, let's pivot away from dental work while you're schwitzing and getting ready for a potential dentist appointment. Uh, I just want to bring this up that Obi-Wan Kenobi behind the scenes
Oh yeah,
documentary is out. I don't know if you've watched
I
it.
have not.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
Uh, Big fan of it. I think there's something that because it goes a lot into. I mean, it's like the behind the scenes for Book of Boba Fett and the behind the scenes for Mandalorian that they do.
Yeah.
It feels less technical, but a lot of it is just about like that relationship between Hayden and Ewan. Like that's a good chunk of it. And I'm like, man, for as wonky as that show was, like part of the core mission was like, hey, we just want to get back together and make something. I was like, that resonates with me on a level that I really appreciate, and it's
Yeah.
nice to see them talking about it.
I should give it a go. I don't know. I just I wanted to let it breathe for a second.
Yeah,
You know, I have some mixed feelings about Obi-Wan, and we've been working on that fan edit, my buddy and I. We're mostly
yeah,
done. So I'm a little bit overwhelmed with it. But that'll be good to watch. Is it just one episode?
yeah. It's like an hour long.
Perfect.
It's a quick in and out. Yeah, I was gonna say I can definitely sympathize with you being overwhelmed with a bunch of Kenobi content, diving into editing, and the mixed feelings for sure. I mean, I think we both had quality concern issues with some of Kenobi. Don't shoot us out there, Star
Or
Wars fans,
do. I'm
or
ready.
do it's whatever. It'll save me a trip to the dentist.
Yeah, yeah, do it before the dentist, please.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It made me even forgive some of those quibbles that I had because like there's heart to it that I was like that's really nice, like that it is just like hey, but it's like we wanted to get our pals back together and make Disney pay for it. I was kind of like that's nice, that's great, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
is.
out. The Andor footage that was shown before Rogue One
Oh,
is on the D plus now.
oh, okay.
Uh,
I'll have to watch
we're
that.
we're getting close. We're what's like the 21st, so we're less than 2 weeks out from
Man,
Cassian Andor.
how about that? And they're releasing 3 episodes at the top
First,
end.
yeah, the first day I think is 3 episodes.
Wowie!
Which makes me excited that we're not doing episode recap
Yeah,
pods regarding it because that would drive me bonkers.
yeah.
But we, of course, for all of our cargo babies out there, we'll be discussing just our general thoughts and feelings about Endor, less of a plot breakdown summary sort of style. So I mean, I'm looking forward to watching that and talking about it with you. It seems very promising based on some of the stuff that we've seen. So that's coming soon too.
Nice. Yeah, lots of Star Wars, and then it'll be Bad Batch, and then it'll be Mando season 3.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough. I'm getting like conflicting reports about the official Bad Batch date.
Yeah, I don't trust anything
I
from
don't
any
I
of
don't
that yet.
trust anything either because I've heard people like it's coming out in September. I'm like, there's nothing confirming it's coming out in September. And then I'm seeing stuff that's like it's in January. Here's the January release. I'm like, hopefully they're just going to
It,
confirm that soon because I don't think anybody has a firm date on when that's actually coming out.
yeah, it makes way more sense for it to be like December or something.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah, lots of Star Wars television on the horizon. Um, But BC, we got something maybe even more exciting than that to talk about today, right?
Rendezvous with Destiny. Yeah. Well, today we've got a Rendezvous with Destiny brought to us by Charlene Newcomb. The Wheel of Fate has gifted us another Star Wars Adventure Journal short story.
Oh, thank you, Wheel of Fate.
Excuse me. Maybe we can edit that hack out that I just had. Um, Yes, so we had the Wheel of Fate decide that we are going to go back to the Star Wars Adventure Journal. If you want any more information about the Star Wars Adventure Journal, go check out our episode on the most dangerous foe. Essentially, this is a role playing game, bi-monthly, whatever sort of adventure journal that was coming out in the 90s that had a ton of content inside each issue. And this one is a short story called Rendezvous with Destiny from May of 1995. Shirley Newcomb, her work is featured in not just one, two, three, four, five, six, the first seven adventure journals.
Wow.
She had
Okay.
quite a run, and then she also came back for Adventure Journal 12 as well.
Sounds like
And
her
this,
middle name is Adventure.
oh, she was adventuring so hard. And she's a published. I mean, obviously she's a published author, but she's also got like it looks kind of like an old English book series, like knights and stuff. I don't know,
Okay.
not Star Wars, but adventure-y
Okay.
kind of stuff. For this, her primary character is Alex Winger, who we'll be talking about here in just a second. But it seems like most of what she did was this one character following her journey. So it was the first read of Rendezvous with Destiny was kind of confusing because it's referencing stuff from previous adventure journals that I
Boy.
had no idea about.
Right.
And then I started looking into it and I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot more sense if I knew there was a previously on Star
Right.
Wars Adventure Journal. So it was kind of hard to jump into the first time, but then I started kind of piecing it together.
Well, you're gonna be
uh,
my guide, BC.
I'm
I
gonna
have
be your
not read all of
guide.
this.
I'm gonna be your guide. I'm gonna be the Cargo Babies guide. Follow me, everyone. I'll take you on the journey. I did find a quote from Charlene Newcomb on her website. She said, "In 1993, I was fortunate to discover the Star Wars Adventure Journal, a new role-playing game magazine with seeking short stories. I submitted A Glimmer of Hope, a story featuring a rebel freedom fighter named Alex Winger from the planet Garros 4. The rest is history. It's even documented on Wikipedia, the Star Wars wiki." And then she links to the Star Wars wiki, which she may have done some editing on herself. Um, and she's also got one of those short stories is featured in it's like a Legends anthology series.
Oh. Huh.
Um, a, a certain point of view is the one that is
Oh.
featured in Star Wars Tales from the Empire.
Okay. Nice. Well, how
Yeah,
about
so
that?
hey, shout out to her, crushing the first 7 Star Wars Adventure Journals. That's a pretty hot run. Seems like they liked her work. And again, we're gonna talk a little bit about Alex Winger, and maybe see some similarities in some other Star Wars characters. Who knows? Who knows? According to the adventure card, a role player card or player card that comes with each of these, where you get your gameplay stats. Right. So
Uh-huh.
this is like for a D&D style role playing game. You've got all the stats. It notes Alex Winger is bright, attractive, and just shy of her 21st birthday. For someone so young, she has extensive experience with and knowledge of the resistance movement on Garros 4. As the daughter, by adoption, of Imperial Governor Torque Winger, she is in a unique position that allows her access to information about Garros's political and military structure. She's been watching the Empire ship ore and other supplies from her homeworld to a secret base off-world when her friend resistance leader and scientist Carl Barzon is imprisoned at the secret facility a facility on a snow covered mountain that Alex has seen repeatedly in visions. Alex realizes she must go there, not only to rescue Barzo, but also to unravel a part of her own destiny.
Seeing
Wah, wah,
visions.
wah. Yeah, now
Some
this
force
is,
visions in there.
yeah. See, now this was part of it that unlocked what the hell was going on for me because this is in the player card. It doesn't preface it at the beginning of the text of the short
Right.
story. So you've got to kind of go to these different locations because as you read through this, there's various player cards
Okay.
that show up. There's also like, here's a suggestion for your campaign, little blurbs, that kind of stuff. But this was information in her player card that kind of hints at what has happened before,
Yeah.
right? So that kind of sets the stage. She's the daughter of an imperial governor. Oh, she's a resistance fighter. Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I wonder. That's an interesting concept of just like the rebellion gets its information from like angry teenagers who hate their parents.
Oh, no, she's just shy of her 21st birthday. Okay, she's
Okay,
almost
all right, all right.
she's almost of legal galactic drinking age. So, uh, and also she's adopted, so
Right.
it's not her actual blood father. So she doesn't have that sense that she's actually betraying this person. He's just some guy that adopted her, raised her, and paid for all of her
She
food and
has no
meals.
connection. Yeah, rescued
None
her from
whatsoever.
a
Yeah,
life without love.
yeah, absolutely. So, no qualms completely destroying his career and his goals, which I think is fantastic. um, so we start this adventure where she's dreaming that she's being interrogated by the New Republic on Coruscant. Basically, it like plays
Okay,
into these like doubts that they don't think she can be a
so
true resistance fighter.
this is post Return of the Jedi.
This is pre Return of the Jedi,
But then why is it the New Order?
the New Republic.
I mean, the New Republic. Yeah, why is it
That's a
the?
great question, and I'll get to why I know this is pre Return of the Jedi when we encounter a spoiler major character in Star Wars canon. It just is so choice what happens here. I can't wait to get to it. But yes, this is pre Return of the Jedi, based on what I'm gonna a little nugget that
Okay,
comes a little
okay,
later in here.
okay.
But
I
yeah,
did.
the Resistance, the New Republic, it's all kind of nebulous. It very much it's clear that the Empire is still a thing, right?
Uh huh.
Um, we're about to get a mention of Grand Admiral Thrawn too.
Okay.
So she goes out of like having this dream that she's being interrogated. It's playing into her doubts about like, oh, how can she be a true freedom fighter if she's the daughter of an imperial governor?
Uh huh.
She wakes up from that like, whew, okay, thank goodness that was just a dream. Um, and she gets she's in this sort of, I guess it's a base of some kind. She gets they kind of intercept a message from the captain of the Star Quest, which is a ship, a Suwantek light freighter, which is apparently Grand Admiral Thrawn has just suffered that's
Suffered some what? Sorry, it dropped for me.
some kind of defeat,
Oh, okay.
a military defeat of some kind, which has crippled the Imperial fleet. So the Empire's having to rely on free traders uh, to transport supplies to the Empire's research facility. Now, bear in mind, this research facility is where Dr. Barzo has previously been taken. Put a
Gotcha.
pin in Dr. Barzo for just a little bit. We'll get to him in a second. So she intercepts this message from StarQuest that is promising to her, and she goes back into this call to the snow covered mountains that I'm assuming she's had previous visions of in other short stories because they make a big deal about like I have visions of touching someone's hand on the snow covered mountains of whatever this is. So they go back to that. So she's got this call of destiny to go to the snowy mountains. She ends up
Wants to
hopping on.
ski, man.
Yeah, she's like, I want to do some mountaineering. I just got this North Face jacket. I want to test it out.
Yeah.
So she sort of stows away on the Star Quest.
No,
Um,
that's a name. It sounds like a candy bar.
yeah, no, have you had Star Quest? King size Star Quest?
No,
Delicious.
no, wait, Star Crunch. That's what I'm thinking. That's a little
Ooh.
Debbie. A little Debbie, baby.
All right,
Those are
let's
good.
pause. Let's take a 30-second pause. What's your favorite Little Debbie snack?
You know, it might be the Star Crunch.
I think you're right. I think
That's good stuff, man.
you've got the crunch, you've got the chocolate, and you've got the caramel gooiness. It's
Yeah,
basically everything you need.
yeah. What else is in the running, BC?
I mean, I love a good oatmeal cream pie myself.
Yeah, yeah. Those probably are my most consumed little Debbie
Yeah,
snack. Those are real good.
yeah,
Cosmic brownies are good, but that's kind of cheating, I think.
yeah. I mean, that's just straight up brownie.
I'm sticking with the Star Crunch, and maybe we'll find. Well, maybe we'll name our shuttle the Star Crunch or something in an
Welcome
attempt to
aboard the Star
try
Crunch.
to bait a lawsuit from little Debbie. Let's see that little girl try to take us to court. Damn it!
Come on, ha, little Debbie. She's not old enough to afford a law. Yeah. So Star Crunch. She boards the Star Crunch, which she senses again that she's going to be using some senses. It's not just another ship hired by the Empire to move supplies. On board, we overhear Captain Ter Metallo and her first mate Gil Crosier aboard the Star Crunch. They talk about another team ahead of them that's got a bomb. They have a virus which is going to
Oh
be used to
gosh.
wipe out whatever Lieutenant Page and his Katarn commandos aren't able to blow up. Alex overhears this and is like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And they feign for like a second to be like, "Oh no, it's fine. We're not doing anything. We're just regular supply movers." And she's like, "Yeah, I call BS." So basically, it's uncovered fairly quickly that these are also resistance fighters who are going to
To
sabotage.
bomb a
Yeah,
place and use biological warfare.
yeah, who are going to both bomb and implant viruses into this facility.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, so it's getting pretty heated now. This particular mission is what the role playing aspect of this is about. So
Gotcha. It's all
that
set up
card
so far.
that card's going to come later about like, hey, here's the mission. You play with your friends. Uh, so she's basically gotten the information that they're going to sabotage this facility. They're of like mind. This is where Dr. Carl's at. So she's going to rescue Dr. Carl. Again, who I still don't know much about picking this up blind out of the middle of nothing, but I guess we have a rich history with Dr. Carl, which again we'll talk about here in a second. So she's on this sort of unsanctioned mission.
One
So
second, VC.
yeah,
It's important.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have a history with Dr. Carl.
Do you?
Dr. Carl's Jr.
Hey, see, I don't know what that is because we only have parties where I am.
Totally different. Totally different restaurant.
Not even close to the same thing.
No, no. Vibes
But
totally different.
yeah, but famously, Dr. Carl Barzon did start the Carl's Jr. Franchise.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
part of his legacy.
that it is probably the greatest part of his legacy, if we're being honest. Uh, so she's off to find Dr. Carl. um, but this is
On
this
the
is
Star Crunch going to Carl's Jr.
she's aboard the Star Crunch heading towards Carl Jr. On an unsanctioned mission. So this was not officially given the go ahead by her New Republic friends. She just is doing this on her own. So they approach the snow-covered mountains again from the vision that she has, seen so often at this point, and she makes her way to the computers on the research base and finds out where Dr. Barzo is located. Now, to help her and Gil, a great Star Wars name, escape on their mission to collect Carl's Jr., uh, Metallo, Captain Metallo, who's an alien. She's one of these kind of alien ladies.
Are those
With
eyeball stalks or just little
no, oh
antennas?
look, she's a New Republic commando. She's a native of the planet. Releb? I don't know. She's a Relebian.
I have
That's
a
all we need to
feeling
know.
a lot of this didn't make it into the new Disney
I
game.
have a feeling it did not. Um, so, but there's a little like 3 sentence thing where like she plays sabak and they get away. So Metallo plays some sabak.
All right.
Alex and Gil escape unnoticed, and this is where we get to in the text the gameplay orders of the day. Lieutenant Page of the Katarn Commandos.
Nice.
Lieutenant, New Republic intelligence has determined that the Empire is secretly researching new weapons technology on the planet Sarawi. Sarawi. I could be mispronouncing that, but I don't think anybody really knows.
That sounds good to
Your,
me.
yeah, Sarawi. Your mission is twofold. Intelligence feels it is imperative that the research labs on Sarawi be destroyed, though we have been unable to confirm that the Empire is behind the research stage. As a precaution, and based on Luke Skywalker's recommendation, the factories and storage/warehouse facilities must also be destroyed. Secondly, destruction of the labs alone may not ensure that research might continue elsewhere. To circumvent such an event, the Imperial computer network on Sarawi must be violated, implanted with numerous viruses to assure destruction of their research thus far.
Okay, so they're
So
computer viruses?
yeah, so you gotta implant the facility with computer viruses and blow it to hell. So it's a twofold thing because you want to destroy the network, but you
Gotcha.
also want to destroy the infrastructure, the
Love it.
physical space. So you got a twofold mission. It kind of, I mean, there's more to it, but it's sort of like, hey, here's how your two teams can go about approaching these. Make sure to avoid this elevator. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. But this is like the actual gameplay mission that's associated with this. I don't think we saw one of these whenever we did uh, the most dangerous foe. That one didn't have as like clear of a.
If it was there, I didn't read it.
I didn't either, but I didn't see anything like that. But this is the orders of the day for Lieutenant Page and the Katarn Commandos, who I'm guessing have a previous history throughout this sort of short story
I
legacy.
looked up the Katarn Commandos because, of course, I love Kyle Katarn, and I'm like, how is this related? Well, apparently a Katarn is a beast on Kashyyyk. Looks like a wolf or dog type, a space wolf, according to this little crest here.
Uh huh.
In terms of its name, it stated that it came from the Katarn, an animal, blah 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 blah. Though it is also mentioned that the retconning of Kyle Katarn as a member of the Commandos led some to speculate that it was named after him.
Hmm.
So the source book Galaxy at War, however, establishes the animal explanation is in fact the correct one, and it was the Wookiee member Frorol who first
Oh, yeah.
suggested it, with Kyle Katarn's membership being coincidence. Okay, so I know nothing about Kyle Katarn being part of the Katarn Commandos, unless it's one of those books I read years ago. But that's interesting. They're just special forces.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Which this is a role playing game is much more interesting than the most dangerous foe. That one was kind of a meh, like solo adventure basically.
Yeah.
This one seems like it's got some actual like there's a map that's included of the research base, that sort of stuff. That's actually in this particular adventure journal. So there's a lot more detail in the gameplay on this story as opposed to the one we did previously.
Yeah, and you can just slot someone as one of the commandos, right? And then you're good to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So you're all set on that Katarn commando front. It's pretty. It seems like it's pretty. Would be a pretty fun mission to do. Um, but once we get our orders of the day, we just go back to Alex finding Dr. Barzon, or Carl Jr., as we know and love him.
Uh-huh.
And she informs him of his son's death. Now, this is a big piece of information that whenever I read, I was like, what? And I was like, oh, on this, stop. On the second pass, it was, oh, yeah, this is a part of a saga. So
Right, but if you're
previously,
rescuing someone, might just wait until you're out of the hostile situation to tell them about the death,
no,
maybe.
they get into it pretty quickly. Shout out to Cord Barzon, gone too soon. Uh, from what I gather, he was almost like sacrificed as part of a mission. It seems like they're like, well, Cord is still there, but for the betterment of our cause, we're gonna have to blow every. I think there's a lot of blowing up that happens. It's not really clear to me because I haven't read it, but it seems like he's sort of a sacrifice. And Doctor Barzon is, by the way, totally cool with that immediately. He's like, don't. He's like, Alex, don't blame yourself. It's fine. I know you. I know you're taking my son's death pretty hard, but it's okay. And Alex reminds herself freedom has never been won without sacrifice. Thankfully, Dr. Barzon's son sacrificed himself and not me. So, it's just kind of like a weird. You had to have read the previous ones for this moment to make sense because out of context, I was just like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
Because we get over the death of Lord Barzon pretty quickly, and Carl Jr. is kind of like, "It's fine, don't worry about it." And you're saying, "Oh, thought we would have dwelled on that a little bit more."
You know,
Um,
maybe he's a Force ghost now.
yeah,
I'll be fine.
uh,
Nobody's
there's
ever
a
really gone in Star Wars.
yeah, there everyone's still around and they're just glowing in blue. We get a little moment. Gil, who has been with Alex, finds out that she's an imperial governor's daughter. It's kind of a non-story. They're just like, whatever, it's no big deal. But he's like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, but they just move on. Like it, there's no consequence to her withholding the information. At
Okay.
the end, they're just like, it's fine. Um, now here's where this thing really heats up.
Oh, baby.
We're on level 23. Enter Luke Skywalker, my
Wow.
friend.
He's
Boom.
here.
He's here. Was not expecting this. It again, and I'll get to a really juicy moment with Luke Skywalker in just a second that you know a little bit about.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I did also put the image on our background, so people may,
fantastic.
may have
Okay, good.
a
So
clue what's going
people,
on.
spoiler alert if you're watching the video, that it's what's going on here. So Luke Skywalker has been a part of this particular mission briefing, working with, I guess, another team. But he's here. He's with the other team, who I guess is the bomb team.
Okay.
Alex is with the crew, who is part
Gotcha.
of the virus team. Alex, and here's this is important. She senses him before she sees him. It's almost like she's
Force attuned?
force sensitive,
Sensitive?
maybe. Yeah. So
I don't know, BC. I don't know. You're
yeah,
jumping to
she is. Yeah,
conclusions.
we'll see. We'll
Star
see.
Wars is really precious about Jedi. They're never overused.
No, never. She is confident that this is who she was destined to meet in all of the previous uh, Destiny things that she's been having. This is what the rendezvous is about. Is this meeting with Luke
Oh. Yeah.
Skywalker? Um, and she senses that Luke is haunted by something that he has to face. Now, this is why I'm assuming this is before Return of the Jedi, because it's implying that he hasn't had the showdown with his papa yet. So
Oh,
it's
directly?
like, yeah, yeah. So it's
Huh.
she senses that he's uh, afraid of something that he's gonna have to face, which I'm assuming is Vader, because he's decked out in the pictures, and it described his lightsaber as green. So he's decked out in the Jedi Knight costume. He's got the green saber, but I think what they're saying or implying is that he hasn't had the confrontation with Vader from Return of the Jedi.
I don't know, BC. If it's saying New Republic, I think we're post Return of the Jedi.
All right, well, you can be right, but I read the story and you didn't.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I'm going
All
based
right.
off of this particular description that like there's something looming on his mind that he's got to face.
Okay.
Maybe it's something else after Vader. I don't know, but
I mean, I would assume so.
so figured out what it is. You can go through the other adventure journals for Luke Skywalker notices. Um, but he says, "You are strong with the Force, Alex." Right out the gate, boom, confirmation. Just as he says that, stormtroopers enter and blast away. It's only two of them, so they're dispatched of relatively quickly.
Okay, they've landed their they've landed the Star Crunch.
Sorry, we've been off of the Star Crunch for quite some time.
Okay,
At this point,
sorry, I missed that. We're
yeah.
we're
So
we're walking around the facility.
we're walking around the facility. We've been up and down the elevators, finding Dr. Barzo.
Okay.
We've got the schematics to this research base that we're on. Um, and so there's stormtroopers that enter the room, blast, blast, pew, pew. They're done. Uh, they make their escape down the mountainside,
Uh-huh.
like rappelling down like mountaineers. Alex is knocked down the mountain, but she doesn't die or anything. She hears Luke speak to her through the force. He reaches her and saves her. They go inside. This is what happens. Luke tells Alex to reach out with her senses and see how many Imperials there are. She does. She gets it wrong the first time, but she says two. No, three. She gets it on the second try. So the beginning of her force training with Luke is going well. They make their way to where the ships are docked, and then Alex senses an unfriendly presence. There's someone lurking around. She grabs Luke by the hand and says, "Just follow my lead." She pulls him close, kisses him. And this comes directly from the text. She sensed he was enjoying the impromptu kiss as much as she was. The technician who discovered them says, "You getting off here?" Mid kiss. Luke says, "I only get off if it's my sister, pal." And then, and then they proceed.
Yeah, what the heck is going on here?
This is the wildest swing that occurs in this entire thing. Is this sexy rendezvous moment that they have? Where it's like the classic, hey, to distract the bad guy, let's just start making out and make him uncomfortable. And it's
BC,
funny.
you and I haven't tried that technique enough.
Well, maybe we should. Actually, maybe we shouldn't, because it turns out it doesn't work. Because it's funny, because the technician initially just is like, "Hey, you getting off here?" And then walks away. And then it notes that he walks down the corridor and is like, "Hey, wait, they're not supposed to be here."
Yeah, one of them dresses a Jedi, the other.
And then Alex just shoots him. So like it doesn't work. So the moment of like, "All right, kiss me, just kiss me," does not actually work.
Then she kills a man.
And then she kills him, so he dies, and then they get away.
And he's just some poor maintenance worker.
Yeah, he's some kind of technician working on it.
Maybe it was more of, let's give him something to think about before he dies.
Before we blast him away.
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you getting off here?" And they're like, "No." To pew. Yeah, it is the wildest moment that kind of comes out of nowhere, where she's just like, "Kiss me, Luke Skywalker," and they just do a little necking, and then they escape. Like they
was that okay? I've only ever kissed my sister.
Was that good for you? Was that good for you? Leia never tells me how good it is. Yeah, it's so they have this moment with the technician. That fire draws more Imperial presence. Luke fires up the lightsaber, deflects some blasts. They get on their respective ships and head out, and that's basically the end of it. So that's what happens on the mission. Is they go into this research facility. They plant some viruses. The commandos are doing the bombs. She has her rendezvous with Luke Skywalker that she's been having visions of.
They rescue the man with the dead son.
They rescue the forgiving father, the founder of Carl's Jr. And all's well, sort of, that ends well with this particular adventure.
Wow, BC. You know, the more Star Wars content we read from this era, the less embarrassed I am of the fan fiction I wrote when I was 11. Because this is strikingly similar to that. Two groups land at a facility, go inside, get the business done, leave.
Essentially that's what these short stories are. It's just like published fan fiction. You know? I think what's kind of cool, and that what's kind of cool about Charlene Newcomb is that she had like a focus, right? Like that she had a recurring character. She's
Yeah.
telling a multi-part story that she was actively developing this character. I assume she was working towards some because I also saw that she was like submitting stuff to Lucasfilm for novelization. So
Mm.
I think at some point she was like actively writing the Alex Winger novel,
Yeah,
you
she
know?
wanted Alex to be Mara Jade, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's also because Mara Jada, you also get some like Jyn Erso vibes, like proto Jyn Erso, daughter of an imperial important person who ends up fighting for the resistance. So I mean, it's an interesting enough character. The writing is fine. It's hard to read out of context because so much of it is presented like you should know this from the last adventure journal. So it does just make it a little hard to read. Like I completely missed Dr. Barzo was part of anything from a previous story. The Thrawn's fleet being defeated, I'm assuming, is something that comes from another story because
Yeah.
it's such a big part of the setup of what this is like, hey, the Imperial fleet is crippled right now. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just take that and move on.
We'll just
So
drop some
it's
viruses, huh?
yeah, it's all part of a bigger story that's being told, which I think is pretty interesting. But out of context, it's a tough read. It's an especially tough read at at midnight, the right right before we're supposed to talk about this. So, but I made it through. I went back and obviously took diligent notes on this particular story, but it's I don't know. I think these are relatively fun, just taken as a piece of like, hey, here's Star Wars fan fiction that got published in the '90s.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure. Yeah, I blame the Wheel of Fate for selecting this without giving us too much context.
yeah.
uh, so I forget the name of the book that I am currently digesting. Here's the good news though, BC. It's only a 6-hour abridged audiobook, so that's where I am.
Solid.
I know it's Aaron Alston. What's the name of the dang book?
It's in
Betrayal.
our
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is the first book of the Legacy of the Force series.
Legacy of the Force. It's nice that we've got the first one at least, as
Yeah.
opposed to you know one that's way down the line.
Yeah,
But
pretty
again,
lucky there.
that's the Wheel of Fate.
Which we
That's
gotta spin, BC.
we do. We must know because well, listen, we're here doing research the night before to record these podcasts for you all. So, this is an undertaking on our part. Now, could I have done this earlier? Yes. Did I
Will I
procrastinate?
ever do it earlier than that? No.
Really hard to say. Seems unlikely. Um, yeah. So let's see what the wheel has in store. Not this week, but the following week, which will probably also be a Cassian Andor
Oh,
or
wow.
Andor first 3 episode discussion.
Okay, so yeah, this may be a little bit down the road for the pod. I should subscribe, baby.
Hit that
Uh,
subscribe button. Look at all this great stuff we got.
we still have 1,365 pieces of Star Wars content. I am spinning the wheel. Where will it
Spin it.
land? On
Spin it.
wheelofnames.com over here. Great
What
website.
a fantastic website. Yep.
And the winner is um Missed Chance by Michael A. Stackpole, which is another X-Wing author. Let's see here what that is exactly. Missed
Is the
Chance is a
entire
short story from the
Star Wars
Adventure
Adventure
Journal
Journals?
7. Just by the volume of short stories, there must be a lot. So we can
I'm gonna vote we respin the wheel just because we've had a high hit rate on the Star Wars Adventure Journals.
story takes place shortly before the novel X-Wing Rogue Squadron. Wow, so it's like a prologue almost to the first X-Wing book. That's kind of exciting.
Interesting. We
Okay,
can keep it.
I'll spin the wheel one more time, and we can pick from the two of them. Just know these things go away from the wheel forever. So one of them is going into the garbage. So it's either that or the New Jedi Order, the Unifying Force, which I'm pretty sure is a lengthy book in the middle of the New Jedi Order series. Yes, let's see. Book 19.
What?
Yeah, the New Jedi Order, I believe, was a very long-running book series. Yeah,
Fantastic.
lots of. So it may be. This one looks like it doesn't have Luke or Leia on the front, so it may be just about some new Jedi. The one I read was, I think I had Star by Star. I think that's where Chewbacca dies, or maybe Rebel Stand. Um,
Spoiler.
well, it's Legends now. We all know that Chewbacca never dies. It looks like
Chewbacca
he's
is
gonna die,
immune
and it's
to
gonna have
death.
like a good effect on character motivation, and like, no.
No, he's not dead. He was on a different ship. That ship over there. It's fine.
So, so what do you think, BC?
Well, just for ease of use, I think Missed Chance is going to be a fantastic prologue to the Rogue Squadron book.
Well, let's keep them both on the table for now. It's a few weeks out. We'll discuss it. We could also maybe do, I don't know, we could do something non-Star War.
Ooh.
You know, we got more than Star Wars boxes in the cargo bay.
It's true.
And as much as
But
we have a massive, loyal audience of Star Wars fans,
you guys are beating down our doors, crashing our email servers.
Don't
You
stop making
must
Star
keep.
Wars
It's
content.
gotta be Star Wars. It's gotta be Star
We're
Wars.
huge fans. Haven't we told
What?
you?
You can't talk about anything but Star Wars. Yeah, I mean we can do whatever we want. I was also gonna suggest at some point we should look at one of our famous guest bookings. Maybe
Uh-huh.
doing
Yeah.
a third person in the old cargo bay studio.
Yeah, yeah.
And just some other general ideas. So obviously we got the book coming up next week. Andor is going to be rolling pretty hard, so we'll be at least dedicating a portion to talk about. Hey, what'd you think about that? But some other things that we can talk about off pod.
Hey, and if you got an opinion of what we should cover, shoot us an email, leave a comment on any of the things, and maybe we'll read it before we before we pick. That's my promise.
Maybe
Well, BC,
we
we
might.
gotta record an episode now where we review Star Wars Tops 2022 Chrome Beskar Mandalorian. We gotta reviews. We gotta give a grade to these Star Wars cards that came out.
2022 Top Star Wars Chrome Beskar Mandalorian Chrome Beskar Special Edition Beskar Chrome Mandalorian.
And if you guys out there like drama and shade, there might be
this because this is a doo-doo sandwich.
These cards are made of doo-doo.
They're doo-doo.
But yeah, thanks for joining us here in the cargo bay for that amazing adventure. BC, thank you for covering Rendezvous with Destiny.
I'm so happy I could kiss Luke Skywalker right now.
Oh man, I wish I lived, and maybe I will very soon, live in a world so tense that I could just be like, hey, kiss me as a distraction.
Kiss me so we can get away. Oh, nope, that was no one. Sorry. It was just a little case of sexual assault.
All right. Well, we will be, if you're watching us live, thank you. We'll be right back in a few minutes to do the card episode. Yeah. Bye everybody.